Abusia US immigration lawyer bi I friend Oklo 18 komo bi say Ken Ofori Atta be na adwen say oko US immigration court and a judge na omo can bibia na enwika obe na adwen say obe file appeal or federal court no oko Supreme Court or say ɛhɔ no deɛ Ken Ofori Atta case no ɔmo ndi likely ayɛ sɛ Ken Ofori Atta ɛhɔ case no ɔmo ntena so ɔmo nhwɛ case no ma no yɛnkɔ tie saa nkɔmɔ no saa abra mmerani no metwam sɛ Ken Ofori Atta case no deɛ ɛyɛ because ɛyɛ pure immigrant issues then or way out but because of the FBI is involved no sɛ nsɛm no kɔ pie mu US Supreme Court krana they will not give a fair hearing or they won't give a hear to Ken Ofori Atta yenko tie sama mbasa video no nyɛ de enchiro yenfa credit ma Joy News
team could look for all sorts of ways to keep him in the country.
Okay.
If they file the writ of habeas corpus, that would be heard by a federal judge here in US. Okay. If he fails at that level, and I'll be honest, as I said, he's not your ordinary, ordinary detainee. It's possible then he'll ask his lawyers to appeal that, right, to the federal appeals court. And barring that, he could also ask them to appeal it up to the U.S. Supreme Court. Now, that's not to say the U.S. Supreme Court would necessarily accept to hear his case. Okay, they could decline to hear his case, but nevertheless, that would be more time that he would buy for himself. Yes.
And spare a few moments to talk to me about the Akroma Detention Center. I don't know if you've been there before representing the clans. What are the conditions there?
I think in the beginning of your show, I saw when
the pictures,
you were showing people. I would say currently the detention center is not any place that anyone would want to be. Under normal conditions, and especially now with the ramp up in deportations here from the United States, really the detention centers, they are overcrowded. It's said, 2 people in a room. Quite honestly, it could end up more than, 2 detainees in a room. Now, to say this, as His Excellency, the Ambassador, has stated, it seems that ICE is aware that Mr. Ofori Atta is, a special case. Right. And so it's quite possible that, he may be given special treatment that your ordinary detainee is not afforded. So it's quite possible that if they are aware, that he's a special case, that he could get better accommodations than what is normal, which right now are, overcrowded conditions.
Overcrowded conditions. And the data last year, I noticed that some actually filed petitions about, particularly the Akroma Detention Center. There's another one, I think Farmville, also in Virginia. 2 of them had issues around what you're just talking about, the overcrowding that they had seen there. Jadelle, please stay with me. I want to take a quick break. When I return, Ambassador Victor Smith will talk to me about he's had to deal with.
Abusia mame mo akwaba I daily update TV so na ohwe ya no subscribe my YouTube channel. Abusia Ken Ofori Atta case no according to Victor Smith, a Ghana, a US ambassador. Victor Smith, very noble man, very brilliant man. Abusia Ken Ofori Atta be finance minister 2017 to 2024. Ken Ofori Atta, I stand to be corrected on date. Na Ken Ofori Atta we na memu na was what turn account for his stewardship and also make accountability and no be able to kwan what to kwan. Mahama ba ben na Ken Ofori Atta e free. Ya bona o ma. Kodru maybe so yare. Ehwehwe ma onyare na pictures BPP. Na bushia the issue of the day ni say Ken Ofori Atta according to Dr. Smith Ken Ofori Atta, there is no basis. I say the immigration judge, Ken Ofori Atta, on the was Ken Ofori Atta de bad or beba. Na the case no ma adjane to 20th and Ken Ofori Atta kra court or kra no mo manema. Yes, Ken Ofori Atta court or no so mo nyare e manema. Na first and foremost no,
engage the embassy and the consular services under any circumstance, but he's still a citizen of the Republic. He's waived his right for consular representation. Would you still be there on the 20th to see what happens?
Well, my information is that on the 20th, he may not be in court himself. It might be done virtual because the FBI don't want him to be moved about too much. Now, it will be in front of an immigration judge, and if the immigration judge has no basis to keep him here longer, he'll be on the next flight to Ghana. That's what I know.
And explain that. In the cases that you become accustomed to in the last 1 year, once the judge says you don't have a case, what then happens? What chain of events kicks in immediately?
Some of the detainees who we've come into contact with had no document. They were undocumented. So we had to try and prove that they were Ghanaians before they would make that determination to fly them out. So then sometimes they go to court and we're not able to finish that matter because we cannot prove where they are coming from. But in this particular special case, they have 3 of his passports, and all of them show clearly that he's a Ghanaian.
They have 3. So, they have 3 passports of Ofori Atta.
3 passports. Yeah, but they're all like. There's I believe he has what is it? The new type. The
biometric type.
Chip embedded.
The chip embedded.
Yeah, they said 3 passports, and each one had the same details. So they don't believe. They have no reason to believe that he had another nationality.
I mean, were all the 3 passports valid, or these are the passports that had expired at various times?
Well, that was not told to me, but they said 3 passports. And none of them was any other country but Ghana's passport. So I take it that that matter is settled. He's a Ghanaian. Okay, so there won't be a problem before the immigration judge to determine his nationality. Now, if there's no basis to keep him here longer, because his visa is out of status. He doesn't have a visa to remain in this country. That is the easiest way to take him back to his country.
Okay. Do you also know if he holds the citizenship of any other country apart from Ghana?
I don't know. Well, initially there was like a suspicion, but there's no evidence so far. As far as ICE is concerned, they haven't had any evidence that he has some other passport, also has some other details other than what is in his passports that they've seen.
Do you have any information on the extradition request? And I believe you said at the beginning that this your office may have been activated in the process of making the request. Do you have any details from the U.S. government on that part of the Ofori Atta's problems?
No, we just were asked by Ghana government to submit the documents that they brought in. They have put the document together with the U.S. Embassy in Accra and everything, and they brought the document for me to deliver to the Department of Justice, which we did on the 29th of December. So they have not come back to us to say anything to us about him. So the next thing we heard was the arrest. So at this point in time, I cannot say categorically that it's the extradition thing which is being kicked in. But like the lawyer Janelle was saying, it's possible with the FBI going in, it must be a Department of Justice directive. So this is where we are now, but the chances are that he may be asked to assist Ghana government to unravel all those mysteries about the charges that are being leveled against him.
And Janelle, typically, how long does it take for a case like this to be resolved, to be had and resolved?
As I said, it's possible that his legal...
And as I indicated, he will update us on the data, but the last check, 866 other Ghanaians were expected to be deported. I've seen advertised that he's going to be engaging with the Ghanaian diaspora in the United States on a host of issues. And that's not a place that anybody would like to stay, but maybe his profile may exclude him from staying in the same circumstances as all the other detainees there. And I'm talking about detainees. I want to bring in Victor Smith. Mr. Smith, talking about what you're dealing with currently, because we know that across the length and breadth of the United States, ICE agents are raiding homes and arresting foreigners they suspect or have evidence to support their case that they may be there illegally. We understand that many of them are Ghanaians and may have been already been arrested and are in detention. The last time we checked, I believe it was 166, we're told, who may be in this particular category. Can you please update us on the number of Ghanaians who may find themselves in the same soup as Ken Ofori Atta?
Well, thank you. The last time I was told about numbers by the ICE was 193. I got about 193 at that time. I don't know whether in between they've sort of shipped out some of them already. So definitely less than 200 in detention, but in different parts of the United States. When I visited Pennsylvania, I went to the detention center a couple of days before Christmas. I think I saw 11 of them there. And I had the opportunity to chat with them. That particular detention center was not overcrowded as such, but in a dormitory setting, you would say they had about 12 people in like a cubicle with their bunk beds, and you could see their showers and their WCs from where I was standing. I was not in there, but I could see through the glass door, and they were all sitting, around and having lunch at the time. So it's not a pleasant thing for our former minister to be in a situation like this, but they do not deal with people on status basis in terms of status in life, except where you have a communicable disease or you're violent. Then they isolate you. That is what the ICE people told us. Otherwise, every detainee is held under the same conditions, except where you have that problem, have a disease or something. And then, of course, we were taken to the hospital. They had a clinic, let me put it as a clinic, a small hospital within the facility. And some of the patients were being looked after. Everywhere was clean, as it could possibly, be. I've been to Ghana's prisons in Nsawam, if I may do that comparison. This is a very clean environment to make sure that people don't run into diseases. But it's still a detention center. I think it was an old prison, but it's a new facility. Everything's quite modern. And I had the opportunity to sit and chat with the detainees. Most of them were undocumented. Unfortunately, almost all of them, about 10 of them were undocumented. But they were fighting their cases. They had lawyers and things going in. So some had been there for 10 months.
Wow.
They were fighting their cases, So what could one do? They didn't have documents to show that they're from Ghana. They said that they spoke free with us. But of course, the American, those who were supervising or policing us, if I may put it that way, did not understand what we were talking. So we we left them to fight their cases. They want to be left alone to fight their cases. They didn't complain of being maltreated or anything. They said that they want to fight their cases and remain in the United States. We didn't know how they're going to do that, actually.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we sort of encouraged them, reassured them about developments at home. We told them there were opportunities being put in place by the current administration. It was possible if they came back, they can start life afresh. There were big opportunities with the 24-hour economy and all that to get them jobs and bigger opportunities for them to eventually one day when they are self-sufficient to be able to travel back into the States or visit the States or any other country for that matter. We gave them some words of, if you like, consolation. Okay. Because they don't survive in front of the judge. There is nothing else for you to remain here. Because first of all, you're undocumented. So they're not able to even establish when you came into the country. And some of them told us, you know, the unapproved routes that were used to enter the U.S. and all that. You know, I mean, you can tell they are hustlers, these ones. But there are some too who may have fallen foul of the law for one reason or the other. In the case of, I haven't been to that current Caroline detention center, not yet. At the time that I was looking for one of them places to go to, this was not mentioned to me, so I had to go to Pennsylvania to do that. Our current VIP being held by the ICE people, that is the former minister. Unfortunately, in my opinion, I don't know what case they're going to try and bring before the judge, but if it's going to just be immigration trying to change status, I don't hold much hope for him in that respect. But once the FBI involved, there's a strong possibility that the government of the United States appreciate where Ghana government is coming from. They appreciate that ours is a law-abiding country and that he'll be given a fair trial with the charges and they brought against him. So I suspect strongly he should man it up. He should go face them, tell them what he knows, tell them the truth. The truth might set him free. You never know, not all charges.
We just heard that from the ambassador talk about the Ghanaians. In some cases, they've been fighting for 8 months. And I retorted because it just gives you a picture of this is not an open and shut matter at all. I mean, some people have painted it as if this is possibly